The Depth to Delve Deep by Rote Writer. Chapter 63 7. Rote learns about the early pilgrimages long before arriving in Avalon, while living at the convent in Edinburgh, namely the Knights Templars' pilgrimage to Santiago de Compostela. Their route follows the 7 sacred cathedrals built on Druid sites or oracles corresponding with the 7 celestial orbs: the Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. Rote's seen one of the 7 sacred sanctums up in Scotland, Rosslyn Chapel. The rest freckle France, save for the one culminating in Spain. When Rote looks through the Lonely Planet guidebook on France, his mind fills with castle-like chateaux and arcane Roman ruins. He would love to see it all, but will focus on his pilgrimage, the route through France traveled by Knights Templars to Spain. Rote reads more into the history of France. He learns how the French have their own legends, like England's King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table. But instead of fable, the French really do have a king who has knights sitting at a round table. Charlemagne, king of the Franks, has knights, called peers or paladins, at his court at Aix la Chapelle. So he sets his sights on France, but wants to wait until the fall before he ventures to another country. He doesn't want to be in France in August. The thought of the heat and the throngs of tourists is too much. He figures he can save up more money by staying and working where he is. Rote's in no rush, and is somewhat settled in Glastonbury now that his 2 roommates have moved on. The employee residence now only has one resident him. However, the manager and deputy manager have plans for the residence, and he isn't too sure he's part of the plan. The plan is to renovate the residence. The deputy manager starts clearing away the jungle-like growth that has for some time camouflaged the entrance into the residence. Rote sees him and tries to be friendly, but realizes there is no friendship with Phil. He really does not want to be forced out, but he can feel it. And now that the woman from France is working more hours at the inn than Rote, the need for him lessens, and she has her own house to live in. He tries to take his mind off this by looking into local tourist attractions that he can take in a day trip. He remembers passing through Wells on his initial coach rides from Salisbury to Glastonbury. He makes a day of it. Wells is a small borough with a wonderful cathedral that has an arcane astronomical clock that still tick-tocks every quarter of an hour. He stares at it while losing track of time. After leaving there, he walks around Wells with its wonderful tells. Back from Wells, Rote looks into a bus company with once-a-week tour trips through southwest England, some even to Cornwall and Wales. He would love to see more of the UK, especially after hearing that England actually has an old growth forest called New Forest. It reminds him of another place, Newgrange, another name denoting a very old area. He would love to see the old forest. He would love to see any forest. He doesn't believe Britain has any forests left. After crisscrossing the British Isles and Ireland, he'd seen no sign of old growth, let alone new growth, constituting a forest.